Now at 6, a man is accused of opening fire on a group of kids. We'll lead up to those shots and details about the charges he now faces. Plus, a missing U.S. airman is rescued as President Trump issues a new threat to Iran. How his message is raising tensions and what we know about the condition of that recovered service member.
And we've been enjoying the sunshine for your Easter, but it has been much cooler as well. And that could lead to some frosty mornings coming up. Let you know which ones.
This is WCPO 9 News at 6.
Thanks for joining us for WCPO 9 News at 6. I'm Sean Delancey. We begin in Green Township, where a man is now facing several charges, including felonious assault, after police say he shot at a group of kids playing a prank. Neighbors tell us this happened in the early morning on Starview Drive. WCPO 9 News reporter Deja Gross joins us live right outside the home where all of this happened with what neighbors are saying about it. Deja? Yeah, thanks, Deja. I know you'll stay on top of that. Well, 1 year ago today, the city of Cincinnati and tri-state area saw the beginning of some of the most historic flooding the area has seen in recent years. On April 5th of 2025, the Ohio River levels were around 50 feet, rose another 10 feet within just a few days. This is what downtown Cincinnati looked like. The flooding led to Hamilton County and other government officials to declare a state of emergency and evacuate people living near the river. Here's what officials were saying before the rain even stopped falling.
The river is going to crest kind of by the end of the weekend well over 60 feet, which is 8 feet above flood stage. That's a significant flood here in the city of Cincinnati. So much rain could fall this weekend, it's going to flood in areas that typically don't.
We were all over the place as the cleanup continued there. Well, after the river crested on April 7th, many businesses and homeowners were able to return to their buildings, many dealing with mud-covered floors, water damage, electrical shortings, and more. Next night, President Trump is raising the stakes with Iran, issuing yet another threat if the country does not open the critical Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil passes. It comes amid word that the second airman who went missing after his aircraft was shot down over Iran has been rescued. Here's ABC's Britt Clennett with the details from Jerusalem. Well, the Artemis II astronauts are preparing to make history out there in space. This is a live look inside of the rocket right now. Today marks the final day before the highly anticipated lunar flyby tomorrow. The roughly 6-hour flyby is promising views of the moon's far side that were too dark to see by the 24 Apollo astronauts that came before them. And 5 days in, we've already gotten these amazing images from the spacecraft. Tomorrow's flyby is anticipated to break humankind's maximum distance record from Earth, something NASA's administrator says will be a foundation for future missions.
So essentially in the next 24 hours, they will be on the far side of the moon. They will eclipse that record, and we're going to learn an awful lot about the spacecraft, which is pretty paramount to set up for subsequent missions like Artemis 3 in 2027, and of course, the lunar landing itself on Artemis 4 in 2028.
Now, the crew has a list of 30 specific lunar sites that they'll observe and photograph as they pass the moon. In more terrestrial news, break out the brooms. It was the last game in a winning series for the Reds in Texas this weekend. The final game against the Rangers ended with another W, 2-1. For the first run, Eugenio Suarez singles to center field and Ellie De La Cruz scores. The second, Ellie De La Cruz singles to right field and Matt McLain scores. It completes a sweep for the Reds after winning the last two games 2-0 and 5-3. Tomorrow, they take on the Marlins. First pitch at 6:40 p.m. All right, with grocery costs on the rise, you may be wondering how much food expiration dates really matter. Today, we're getting you expert guidance from a registered dietitian. Julia Zampano with Cleveland Clinic says that there are 3 kinds of food expiration dates. One is sell by, that tells the store how long that they should display the item for sale. Then there's best by, or best if used by, which is when the product will have its best flavor and quality. Finally, we have use by, the last recommended day for the product to maintain peak quality.
Shelf-stable items are usually the ones that can exceed their dates. So looking at things like dried goods, like rice and pasta and cereal, canned fruits and vegetables, beans, things like that, usually are pretty safe.
Zampano says that you should pay closer attention to expiration dates printed on perishable foods in the fridge like meat and dairy. That's where bacteria and mold are more likely to grow. She says to always use your senses. If it looks, smells, or tastes off, go ahead and get rid of it. And next, Buc-ee's diehards are heading north today, getting ready to line up before Ohio's first Buc-ee's opens its doors. The new travel center has been years in the making outside of Dayton and Huber Heights. It's about an hour and 15 minutes drive from Cincinnati, but for some, they're traveling from all over to get the experience. One man our consumer team talked with says he drove 6 hours from Georgia for the special first responders opening day last week. We'll bring you more on the grand opening tomorrow morning on Good Morning Tri-State. And a couple of eagles in California are welcoming 2 new chicks. This is a live look from the nest of eagle couple Jackie and Shadow. Friends of Big Bear Valley said a second chick made its way out of its eggshell this morning. That was after a first eaglet was fully hatched from its shell Saturday night. Caretakers say both chicks are looking great and doing well. Love to see the national symbol bringing some more life in there. That's really fun.
Yeah, looking good too. The mom or dad that was sitting there just kind of looking at us every once in a while there on camera.
They've got more hair than I do, being bald eagles, but All right, beautiful day today. A little chilly, deceptively chilly, but
yeah, it was cool out there, but it was dry for the Easter plans, which I think is always good.
Finally tonight, here's something you don't see every day. A church turned home is on the market in Oakley. The over 8,000 square foot living space is both modern and historic, with original details from 1900 that include 25-foot ceilings, an original pipe organ, and 2 huge kitchen spaces. This home is on 34th Avenue and is listed by Finn Team Real Estate. The price tag, nearly $900,000. Boy, I tell you what, that would be cool to live in, but I don't have $900,000.
I was just thinking that looks awesome, but then the budget kind of got in the way for me.
Definitely busted on that one. Well, I tell you, at least we can enjoy the outdoors if we don't have
Maybe not in the mornings, the next few months, but yeah, the afternoon's looking good as we go throughout the week. Tomorrow we start around 37, we go to 60 for the afternoon. We do pull it back Tuesday down to 52, and again, Tuesday and Wednesday mornings will be the extra cold ones with low 30s, even here in the city. But by the end of the work week, we're back above average with 70s.
Bundle up in the morning and get a tan in the evening. That'll do it for us at 6. Take it easy, everybody.